Gopichana Vallabha Girivarada Gopichana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopichana Vallabha Girivarada Yashodanandana Vrachachana Ranjana Shodanandana Vrachachana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrachachana Ranjana Shodanandana Vrachachana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Tiravanachari Jayarata Madhava Kunja Bihari Charata Madhava Kunja Bihari Charata Madhava Kunja Bihari Charata Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Premanande Hari. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Pariraj Kacharya Sattva Sattva Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Gaur Premanande. Glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Glories to the assembled devotees. Glories to Shri Guru Guru Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Suratavana Swami Devana Bhakta. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 19, Text 7. Na janmanunam mahato na sopakam. Na va na bodhir na kritis tosha hetu. Taryat vishrashtan apino vanokshashash. Chakra sakye bhata lakshmana grajaha. Na janmanunam mahato na sobhagam. Na vana buddhir na kritais tusha hetu. Taryat vishrishtam apino vanokshashash. Chakra sakye bhata lakshmana grajaha. Na janmanunam mahato na sobhagam. Na vanna buddhir na kritish tusha hetu. Tadyat vishrishtan apino vanokshasha. Chakra sakaye pata lakshmana graja. Na janmanunam mahato na sobhagam. Agranta buddhir na kritish tusha hetu. Taryat vishrishtan apino vanokshashash. Chakara sakye pata lakshmana. Vaishnavis? Anyone likes? Na janmanunam mahato na sobhagam. Na vanna buddhi na kritish tosho hetu. Taryat vishrishtan apino vanokshashash. Chakara sakye pata lakshmana graja. Na, not janma, birth in a very polished aristocratic family. Nunam, indeed, Mahata of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Na, nor, Sobhagam, great fortune. Na, nor, Vak, an elegant manner of speaking. Na, nor, Buddhihi, sharpness of intelligence. Na, not, Akritihi, features of the body. Toshahetuhu, the cause of pleasure to the Lord. Tahi, by all those above mentioned qualities. Yat, because. Vishrishtan, rejected. Api, although. Naha, us. Vana Ukshashaha, the inhabitants of the forest. Chakara, accepted. Sakye, in friendship. Bata, alas. Lakshman Agraja, Lord Sri Ramachandra, the elder brother of Lakshman. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So this is Lord Hanuman offering prayers to Lord Ram. Or prayers. One cannot establish a friendship with the Supreme Lord Ramachandra on the basis of material qualities such as one's birth in an aristocratic family, one's personal beauty, one's eloquence, one's sharp intelligence, or one's superior race or nation. None of these qualifications is actually a prerequisite for friendship with Lord Sri Ramachandra. Otherwise, how is it possible that although we, uncivilized inhabitants of the forest, have not taken noble births, although we have no physical beauty, and although we cannot speak like gentlemen, Lord Ramachandra has nevertheless accepted us as friends? Very nice. Hanuman says, we are the Vanaras, the monkeys. No, we are from the forest. We are not beautiful. No, monkeys are not considered to be very beautiful. And we don't speak like gentlemen. They were just monkeys. But nevertheless, the Lord has accepted us as friends. So that's the proof that there is no material qualities which is actually important. What is important? Bhakti. That's the only importance. Prabhupada's purport. In a prayer to Krishna expressing her feelings, Srimati Kunti Devi called him Akincha Gochara. The prefix A means not, and Kinchana means something of this material world. One may be very proud of his prestigious position, material wealth, beauty, education, and so on. But although these are certainly good qualifications in the material dealings, they are not necessary for achieving friendship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One possesses all these material qualities, is expected to become a devotee, and when he actually does, the qualities are properly utilized. Those who are puffed up by high birth, wealth, education, and personal beauty, Janmaishwarya Shruta Shri, unfortunately do not care for developing Krishna consciousness, nor does the Supreme Personality of Godhead care about all these material qualifications. The Supreme Lord is achieved by devotion, bhaktya mam abhijanati. One's devotion and sincere desire to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead are the only qualifications. Rupa Goswami has also said that the price for achieving God's favor is simply one's sincere eagerness to have it. Lolyam ekam mulyam. In the Chaitanya Bhagavad it is said, Kolavecha seva kara deka bhakya shimma brahma shiva kandeyara dekiya mahima Dane jane panditye Krishna nai pai kevala bhakti ravasa Chaitanya Gosai. Behold the great fortune of the devotee Kolavecha. Lord Brahma and Shiva shed tears upon seeing his greatness. One cannot attain Lord Krishna by any amount of wealth, followers, or learning. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is controlled only by pure devotion. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had a very sincere devotee whose name was Kolavecha Sridar, and whose only business was to sell pots made of skin of banana trees. Whatever income he had, he used 50% for the worship of Mother Ganga, and with the other 50% he provided for his necessities. On the whole, he was very poor, that he lived in a cottage that had a broken roof with many holes in it. He could not offer brass utensils, and therefore he drank from an iron pot. Nevertheless, he was a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is a typical example of how a poor man with no material possession can become most exalted devotee of the Lord. The conclusion is that one cannot attain shelter at the lotus feet of Lord Krishna or Sri Chaitanya Gosai through material opulence. That shelter is attainable only by pure devotional service. Anya bilashita shunyam jnana karmadi anavritam anukulyena krishnanu shilanam bhaktiruttamam. One should render strength and loving service to the Supreme Lord Krishna favorably and without desire for material profit or gain through fruitive activities or philosophical speculation. That is called pure devotional service. Om Jnana-timirandasya Gnanjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Namo Vistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vanchakalpa Turubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama. Again the text, one cannot establish friendship with the Supreme Lord Ramachandra on the basis of a material quality such as one's birth in an aristocratic family, one's personal beauty, one's eloquence, one's sharp intelligence, or one's superior race or nation. None of these qualifications is actually a prerequisite for friendship with Lord Ramachandra. Otherwise, how is it possible that although we uncivilized inhabitants of the forest have not taken noble birth, although we have no physical beauty, and although we cannot speak like gentlemen, Lord Ramachandra has nevertheless accepted us as friends. So very sweet prayer and beautiful purport by Srila Prabhupada. And it's about friendship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Have you established your friendship with the Lord? It's a good question. It's a beautiful concept, like usually God is far away, and in some religion you have to fear God because he's an angry God and punishing God, whatever. Okay, sometimes God becomes human, like Jesus Christ, today is Christmas, and then we can have friendship, because God has become human. Then it's more easy. But actually God, we can have a friendship with God directly. And this is highlighted in the Vedic scriptures in many places. For example, in the Nectar of Devotion, we have the 64 items of devotional service, and there's many angas of bhakti, such like one must hear about the Lord, his pastimes, one must pray to deities for the mercy, one should remember the deity, one should meditate upon the deity, one should render some volunteer service, and one should think of the Lord as one's friend. One should think of the Lord as one's friend. That's also one of the angas. One should offer everything to the Lord. One should offer favorite article. One should take all kinds of risk and perform all endeavors for Krishna's benefit. In every condition, one should be a surrendered soul. And of course, we should water tulsi and we should dance in front of the deities. We know all those different angas. And actually, Srila Prabhupada, the way he arranged the morning program in a temple, when we just go to the morning program, we practiced most of these angas just by going through the program. But yeah, here are some more subtle ones. One should think of the Lord as one's friend. That's also. So how often do we do that? How often is that our daily practice? Oh Krishna, you're my friend. I'm your friend and you're my friend. And we are Sakhas, we are good friends. But Rupa Goswami says that's what you're supposed to do. Thinking of the Lord as one friend. And of course, Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita himself, Bhaktaram Yogitapasyam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suridam Sarvabhutanam Gyatvamam Shantim Richati. Krishna says that, okay, he's the supreme enjoyer, he's the supreme Ishvara, controller, but he is also the supreme friend. And Prabhupada explains why. Because as a Paramatma, he is in the heart of everyone. And although we go through so many different lives, many different, also very abominable species of life, as a hawk, and we eat stool, and as a cockroach, we somewhere in the kitchen, or hopefully not in the kitchen, not in our, but there's many lower species of life. But the Paramatma, the Lord as a Supersoul, is always accompanying us, is always with us, and always there. Prabhupada explains, Suridam means Surit. There are different kind of friends, but here, in Sanskrit, for different kind of friend, there are different names. Just like one friend is called Bandhu, one is called Mitra, one is called Surit. There are differences. Therefore, there are different words. Just like in English language, there is only one word, friend. But in Sanskrit, because it is perfect language, what kind of friend? So Krishna says, I am Suridham, Sarva Bhutanam. Surit. Surit means such a friend. Just like you have got a friend. Sincerely, he wants how you shall be happy. Just like your mother. Mother is also friend. Or wife, devoted wife. She's also friend. So mother, wife, or any such relative or father. So they want actually that this friend may be happy. This is real friend. Mitra is a social friend. Bandhu, an official friend. But Surit means one who actually desires good of his friend. Sincere friend. That's Surit. Like that's the kind of friend you can call 3 o'clock in the morning. I have a problem, please help me. That's the true friend. Not just like a colleague at work, you're by destiny, you're sitting in the same office and somehow you tolerate each other and sometimes you maybe take a coffee or not a coffee, but maybe tea. And so you call each other, it is a colleague, we're working, That's just a colleague. But Surit, it's not just a mitra, a social friend, but it's a very dear friend. And of course, that's only Paramatma, but if you are actually developing bhakti, if you surrender towards Krishna, then Krishna becomes Bhaktavatsala. And this Krishna becomes even more interested in you. We know, of course, Bhakta comes from Bhaj, means serving, honor. It's a devotee. And Vatsala actually comes from Vatsa, which literally means calf. So Sanskrit describes the spontaneous, selfless affection a mother, cow, has for a newborn calf. From there also this Vatsalya comes, no? Vatsalya rasa. So Vatsa means, just like a cow has love for calf, Krishna has love for his devotees. That's Bhakta Vatsala. So when we become, Krishna is already our best friend, but if we become his devotees, then Krishna really becomes our friend. He really has so much love for us. So just as a calf licks, just as a cow licks her calf to clean it, regardless of any dirt, Krishna as Bhaktavatsala, He helps us to cleanse our heart. He always is ready to protect and nourish his devotee. And he gives special mercy. So Krishna is very eager to have a friendship with us. But what about us? How eager are we to have Krishna's friendship? No? That's maybe something to think on today's Christmas day. And of course, if we want to have a relationship with Krishna, then it is bhakti which is needed. No material qualification is actually of importance. And this is what Hanuman is saying here, that all this Janmai, Shvara, Shruta, Shri, of course we know these are symptoms of good karma, right? If someone has a good birth, someone has Aishwarya, good money, wealth, someone has Shruta, some intelligence, knowledge, or Shri, beauty, these are all results of pious activity. So if someone is beautiful, someone is intelligent, someone is from good birth, someone is opulent, like all of you, you're all beautiful, you're all intelligent, you're all from good birth. So that's all a result of previous good karma. But then what is expected, one should engage these opulences in the Lord's service. That's what is expected. But what happened? Usually those who have these opulences, they become puffed up. And they become intoxicated. Srila Prabhupada compares it to fever. The material covering of the pure spirit, soul, is an external feature as much as fever is an external feature of an unhealthy body. The general process is to decrease the degree of fever and not to aggravate it by some maltreatment. But basically, if someone has these opulences, then usually one becomes more feverish, one becomes more into material life. And then it becomes very difficult to call out for Krishna. Prabhupada says, such materially puffed up persons are incapable of uttering the holy name of the Lord by addressing him feelingly, "Oh Govinda, oh Krishna." It becomes very difficult to actually call out. Why? Because to really call out, to take shelter of the Lord, we need to have some feeling of helplessness, like some humility, in a sense of, okay, I tried this, I tried that, but finally I realize on my own, what is my strength? I mean, what is my intelligence? What is my strength? Sometimes we're very proud of our body and our strength and our youth, whatever. But bad luck and some accident, you land in a wheelchair, you can't even move your arm. We are fully dependent on the Lord's mercy. So what is our power? What is our strength? Our knowledge? It's all dependent on Krishna. So that kind of humility is required to actually take shelter. And if one is not developing such a spirit, it will be very difficult. Srila Prabhupada also speaks about the power of the holy name, that actually the holy name has an immense power. It says that just by chanting once the holy name of the Lord, purely one can get rid of more sin that one can commit. Imagine you have a whole life and every moment you try to do some sinful activity. You can do quite a lot of nonsense. And some people do. But just once, Krishna, if it's chanted purely, can destroy all of these sins. Such is a power. But then Prabhupada says, actually the Lord's holy name has such powerful potency, but there is a quality to such utterance also. It depends on the quality of feeling. In order to make that chanting actually potent, it depends on feeling. Feeling of helplessness, feeling of love, of bhakti. And a helpless man can feelingly utter the holy name of the Lord, whereas a man who utters the same holy name in great material satisfaction cannot be so sincere. That's the point. So, and who is such a person who calls out the name of the Lord with sincere feeling? A kinshana gochara, yes, one who is bereft of any material opulences, and who is an example. Prabhupada mentioned him in the purport, Kolavecha Sridar. And there in the Chaitanya Bhagavat we find some descriptions. We can try to narrate a little bit. We know Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came as a Gupta avatar, he hidden, and if anyone would tell him, "You are the Lord," he would do what? Vishnu, 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 Vishnu. He would close his ears. No, what are you saying? I'm just a devotee. Although the devotees knew that he actually, Advaita Acharya was calling for the Supreme Lord, and the Lord appeared, and they recognized him. But he would always, no. But sometimes he would do what? Mahaprakash Lila. And it's described he would move away the Shalagram Shilas from the altar and then just sit down. Imagine some of us would do that, like the altar, Padmanabha on the side, Shingadev on the side, just sit there. Okay, now you can do the Sandhya Arti. It would be quite a scandal. But Mahaprabhu would do that. Of course, because he is the Lord, and the devotees understood he is the Supreme Lord. So he would perform this Mahaprakash Lila, and all of the devotees, they would be there sitting at his lotus feet, and then would offer incense and lamps and worship him. So, and then the Lord would call everyone, and he would give blessings. No, you ask for so many benediction, and he would give blessings. Devotees would ask, "Please give pure devotion to my father. Please bless my family, please." And he would give blessings to everyone. So then he would call out one day, "Quickly go and bring Sridhar. Let him come and behold my opulences." And actually, devotees didn't even really knew who is the Sridhar. Who is that? Who is that fortunate soul that the Lord calls and personally invites? As he constantly thinks of me, he feels great unhappiness. Bring him at once so that he may see my glories. And they were asking, so, but where is he? Who is that devotee? You go at the edge of the town and bring that person who is calling out my name constantly. You will find one person is crying. You get that person. So they went and they were seeing. Following the instruction of the Lord, some Vaishnavas, they went to the house of Sridhar. And then the Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur describes that he earned his livelihood by selling banana leaves. So he would cut one banana tree, and then he would cut everything to pieces, and then he would sell these pieces. There is leaves, there is flowers, there is fruits, there is many things, everything you can use. So he would sell. That was his banana shop. And he would offer, as we heard in the purport, half of whatever he earned, he would offer for worship of Ganga. In the morning, evening, he would do Ganga Arti and Puja and invest his money, half of it in just worship. So he was very, very poor and pure. He was a pure Brahmana, but also very poor. And it's described, he was truthful as Maharaj Yudhisthira. He would not cheat people, he would give a very fair price, very little price. And those people who knew, they would not argue. Usually in India, if you go somewhere, you always bargain. You always have to deal. But with him, everyone knew he's such a pure Brahmana, you could just take the price he asked. But there was one person who would argue every day with him, and that was Nimai. Nimai would go there and he would always argue with him. And so he would live there in Navadvip, and no one would recognize him. He would live there at the edge of the town, And people were thinking he's simply a banana leaf seller. And he passed the nights without sleep, and he would cry out. And the atheists, the neighbors close by his hut, they would complain. Oh, look, this Vishnu Bhakta, he's so poor, he doesn't have any food. And because his stomach is empty, he's crying out, oh, I'm so hungry. Actually, he was calling out of love. He would call Krishna, Krishna, because he had so much love. But the neighbors, they would think he's calling out because he's hungry. Like that. So the devotees would approach the hut of Sridhar and they would tell him, come, the Lord wants to see you. Immediately when Sridhar heard the name of the Lord, he immediately became very ecstatic and he fell unconscious. So they just picked him up and carried him. and then when they brought him in front of the Lord, he became again conscious and then he saw the Lord in front of him. And then Chaitanya Bhagavat describes the relationship between Sridhar and Mahaprabhu. So Mahaprabhu would challenge him. He would say, oh brother, why you live like an ascetic when you have so much wealth? So Mahaprabhu would kind of tease him and say, actually you're very wealthy. Why you pretend to be like a poor brahmana, but actually you're so wealthy. Why you're taking... why you take a quarrel with me? You should just give it for free. Whatever you have, you just give it for free. In this way, they would quarrel. And then sometimes Sridhar would say, there's many other shops. If you don't like my price, you go to some other shops. You go there, you buy there. No, I will not give up my supplier. You are my supplier, I take from your shop. But you have to give me half the price. No, this is already very cheap. No, you should give it. And sometimes he would just snatch it and take it for free. Or he would say, what is your problem? You anyway spend half of your money for worship of Ganga. I'm the master of Ganga. Ganga comes from my feet. So you can also give it to me. And then Sridhar would say, oh my God, what an offense. Like that. So that was their relationship. And sometimes they would argue for 2 hours. For 2 hours, Nima would spend there just arguing about the price, about few paisas, like that. But both would actually very much relish, because if Sridhar would see the beautiful face of Nima, he would just melt, and he would just look at the beautiful face, and okay, yeah, you take it for a cheaper price. And in this way, they had a very sweet relationship. So when Sridhar was sitting in front, then Mahaprabhu would ask him, oh Sridhar, look at my form. Today I will award you the 8 mystic perfections. Would you like to have the 8 mystic perfections? It's not bad, like transform one's own body smaller to the smallest, greater than the greatest, acquire whatever one desires, experiences any enjoyable object in this world, manipulate anything. You can create a planet, you can destroy a planet. You basically can do everything, And then the exalted Sridhar raised his head and saw Vishwambar was blackish like a tamil tree. He had an enchanting flute in his hands, and Lord Balaram stood at his right. Sridhar saw the entire place was filled with bright effulgence. So he saw the Vrindavan darshan, he saw Krishna in his original form. With Balaram, he saw all Vrindavan. And then he saw the opulences of Vaikuntha, he saw Lakshmi, he saw Lord Shiva and Brahma offering prayers, he saw Lord Ananta. And then, Sridhar fell unconscious on the ground when he saw that amazing form. And then Mahaprabhu would say, get up, Sridhar. And he would say, Sridhar, offer prayers to me. And then Sridhar would say, oh Lord, I'm a fool. I'm such a fool. I don't know how to offer prayers. How should I offer prayers? Like Hanuman says, no, I'm not speaking like a gentleman. I don't know how to offer prayers. The Lord replies, your words alone are prayer alone. And by the order of Lord Saraswati, the mother of the learning, appeared on Sridar's tongue, and Sridar began to offer prayers. Jaya Jaya Mahaprabhu Jaya Vishwambara Jaya Jaya Navadvipa Purandara Jai Jagannath Baladev Subha Shishi Gornitai Ki Jai Jaya Jaya Ananta Brahmananda Kotirata Jaya Jaya Sachi Pundavati Garbhajata. All glories to Mahaprabhu, all glories to Vishwambar, all glories to the Lord of Navadvip, all glories of the Lord of innumerable universes, all glories to He who was born from the womb of the pious mother Sachi. And then he complains, previously you personally told me that water of Ganges has emanating from my feet. But yet, neither did my sinful heart recognize you, nor did I understand the glories of your infallible feet. So in this way, he offers prayers, and the Lord becomes very, very pleased. And then the Lord again asks, please ask for benediction. And then Sridar says, Lord, will you again deceive me? I don't need anything. I don't want anything. And then the Lord says, well, my darshan cannot be without any benediction. You cannot have darshan of the Lord and just go out empty-handed. You have to get something. So you ask for any benediction. Then Sridar replied, then give me this benediction. Ye brahmana kati nila mora kola patta se brahmana haka mora janman janma natta ye brahmana mora sange karila kandala mora prabhu hauka tanrachara yuga. Let that brahmana who forcibly took away my banana leaves be the Lord of my life, birth after birth. Let me always engage in the service of the lotus feet of that brahmana who constantly quarrels with me. So while speaking in this way, Sridar's love for the Lord increased. He began to cry loudly with his arms raised. On seeing Sridar cry, all the Vaishnavas became overwhelmed and also cried. And then the Lord says, Hasi bole Vishwambar Sundra Sridhara Eka Maharajya Kora Tomara Ishvara. Vishwambar smiled and said, listen, Sridhar, I want to make you a king of a great kingdom. And Sridhar says, I do not want anything. Make such arrangements, O Lord, that I may chant your name. So if you want to give me something, okay, let me just chant your name. And the Lord says, O Sridhar, you are my servant. This is why you are able to see my opulences. That is why your mind does not deviate from me. Thus, I am giving you devotional service that is confidential even to the Vedas. And all the Vaishnavas chanted, Jai, Jai, as they heard the benediction given to Sridhar. These are some of the description of the Chaitanya Bhagavat. So a beautiful example of how a devotee has no other desires, just want to serve the Lord, just is pleased with giving some service to the Lord, chanting the Lord's name, and doesn't want anything else. And the Lord is very pleased with such devotees. And just as Hanuman and the Vanaras, they didn't have any beauty, they didn't have any wealth, any opulences, but the Lord made friendship with them. Similarly, Sridar, Kolavecha Sridar, also he didn't have any beauty or wealth or opulence, but the Lord was bound up by his love. And this is really what we need. And as Prabhupada quotes, Anyabilasita Shunyam Jnana Kamari Anavirtam, that actually the most important there is that we should render service favorably to the Lord. And sometimes this is a bit misunderstood. We say, well, I should do service which gives pleasure to Krishna, right? That's how we understand. But actually, if you look at it close, this is Vishnava Chakravarti Thakur explains, Actually, it means we should render service with the intention to give pleasure to Krishna. That's what it really means. Having the intention to please Krishna. That's the secret of devotional service. Yeah, the intention, the desire to please. And Srila Vishnu Chakravarti gives the example when Mother Yashoda is breastfeeding Krishna, and then she realizes that the milk is spoiling. What she's doing, she puts Krishna down and runs into the kitchen. Is Krishna pleased? No. Krishna becomes very angry. The Acharyas say Krishna becomes angry as Lord Nrsingadev. I just, was drinking this milk and I felt so much nourished. I felt the warmth and the love of my mother, and all of a sudden I'm standing here on a cold floor and my mother is just running away. What is this? Krishna is very displeased. But is it not devotional service? Of course, Mother Yashoda, she's a Ragatmika Bhakta, she's a pure devotee, internal associate, she's the mother of Krishna. Whatever she does is pure devotional service. And she just goes to the kitchen because she wants to save the milk, because with that milk she wants to make nice sweets, burfis and sandesh to please Krishna. So she's completely, her attention is just to please Krishna. So that's the point. It's not about is Krishna pleased or not pleased. It's about having the intention to please Krishna. Because sometimes Krishna, the Lord Nrsingadev, fights with Hiranyakashipu, and actually Nrsingadev is quite excited about it. No? Nrsingadev really likes the good fight. That's why he came down, because in Vaikuntha nobody challenges him. So he really enjoys the fight. So here we have Hiranyakashipu, who actually pleases the Lord, and we have Mother Yashoda, who displeases the Lord. But that in itself is not the measurement of what is actually pure devotional service. But pure devotional service is if the bhakta has an intention to please Krishna. And when we do any service, we should ask ourselves, do I have the intention to please Krishna? Like now, right now I'm sitting here on this Vyasa-san giving class. And you're sitting and listening. So what was our motivation, Do I have the intention to give pleasure to Lord Jagannath while speaking? Do we have an intention to please Guru and Krishna by listening? When we go to the kitchen, when we go on the altar, do I have an intention to give pleasure to Krishna? That meditation should be there, because with that we actually, we make sure that we perform devotional service by having that intention to give pleasure to Krishna. And if that is there, then Krishna sees our heart. Krishna becomes very pleased with our intention, with our love, and then it will become very easy to develop friendship with him, regardless of how beautiful we are, or how wealthy we are, or how that's what really counts, that love that we want to show to Krishna. And of course Hanuman is a wonderful example, because by his that's also an interesting thing we can learn from Hanuman. How do we establish a relationship with the Lord? Through service also, how we serve the Lord. And when Hanuman, he received the ring of Lord Ram, and when he, found Sita, delivered the ring and came back with a message that actually I found Sita and she's there and she's well. Lord Ram embraced Hanuman, we know that famous picture. And Lord Ram was so pleased with his servant. So that's what we need to try to achieve, to please Guru and Krishna by our service, and that will establish a deep relationship. So if we can please our spiritual master through our service, we can please Guru and Krishna. That should be our goal. Hare Krishna. Any comments or any questions on this topic? Yes.
Could you just a little bit more elaborate on that last point you made? Just a little.
Okay. It's confusing. Well, this is from our Bhakti Shastri study when we look at the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. And Prabhupada also in his summary study, Nectar of Devotion, mentioned about it, but especially if you read the original text, in the original text we have Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and then we have Jiva Goswami and Srila Vishnava Chakravarti Thakur commentary on Rupa Goswami's teaching. And this is the commentary from Vishnava Chakravarti Thakur, that he, because we have Anyabilasita Shanyam Jnana Karmati Anavritam Anu Kulyena Krishnanu Shilanam Bhaktir Uttamam. So the acharyas divide the verses in two. There is Svarup Lakshana and there is Tataksha Lakshana. Lakshana means characteristic, quality, and there is the primary and the secondary characteristic. And the primary characteristic describes, if I remember properly, it describes what is bhakti, and the secondary described what is needed to make that bhakti pure. Right? So what is bhakti? Bhakti means, first of all, Krishna. Krishna, the object of love is Krishna. That is Krishna. And not Ganesha or Shiva, but Krishna. Because Prabhupada explains bhakti is meant for Krishna. And of course, then Jiva Goswami explains Krishna not only means Krishna, it also means all the expansions of Krishna, all the different Vishnu avatars. And it also means, it even includes the devotees. And in principle, it includes everything which is connected to Krishna. And in a way, everything is connected to Krishna. So at the end of the day, we should love everyone and everything. That's the goal of life. But Krishna is the object of love. Then Anushilanam means that we should, it's a cultivation. We render devotional service. We do some practical service. That's Anushilanam. And how do we Anushilanam? We do it favorably towards Krishna. And at that point, Vishnava Chakravarti Thakur explains that favorably towards Krishna means that it is our consciousness, is our heart, which should be having a desire to please Krishna. That's what is important. And then, so this is bhakti, but there's different kinds of bhakti. There is mixed bhakti, and there is kevala, there is pure bhakti. So what makes it pure? It makes it pure if it's shunyam, if there is no material desires, and if it's not covered by karma and by jnana. If this is also there, then it becomes pure devotional service, like that. So in this way, this shloka describes what actually is bhakti, what is pure devotion, and it's described as the Pariva Sutra. The Pariva Sutra is like the emperor shloka or the king shloka, and from that shloka you understand the whole book. Like every book has a Pariva Sutra, and everything you read in the book you have to understand through the lenses of this one text. So the most important text of the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is this verse, because it describes what is bhakti, what is pure bhakti. And if you remember anything from what I said, then remember that we should have an intention to give pleasure to Krishna. That's kind of the secret which turns. Otherwise, we just do some, I don't know, karma yoga or some, when does something become actually bhakti? Right? We clean the floor, we clean the pots. When does it become bhakti? Well, that's the key. When you do it with the intention to give pleasure to Krishna. And that's why it's very practical to apply for our life. Like that. Okay, time is up. Thank you very much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.